In this video, I'm going to rank every single transformation mythic boss in Fortnite history from worst to best. And what I mean by that is these are the bosses that you can turn into mid-game, right? So think Thanos, Superman, Godzilla, etc. We've now had 6 of these across all of Fortnite, and today we're going to rank them all. That's all I've got for this intro. If you do go on to enjoy this video, consider leaving it a like using code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop, and let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see me rank next. With all that out of the way, let's get into this ranking. This will be a good one. At number 6, the worst transformation mythic is the Star Destroyer from Galactic Battle. And let me get this clear, right? This is not technically like a mythic item, but it is obviously your transformation mid-game objective on the same level as something like Godzilla or Armor of Doom or Superman. Absolutely should be on this list, right? Even though it's not technically a mythic item. In terms of like coolness, right? Like how cool you felt going into the Star Destroyer, dude, 10 out of 10. It's such a good experience, but honestly, all of these are 10 out of 10s. My problem with the Star Destroyer is you're not mobile, right? Like you can't really control where you go, and it moves very slow, and you can only shoot like directly in front of you, right? It's not like Thanos, for example, where you can move wherever you want, whenever you want, or like Superman, where you can just fly to any location on the map and go kill people. It's actually very easy to avoid the Star Destroyer, right? You can only look down in front, right? You can't look a ton to the right, can't look a ton to the left, definitely can't look behind you, can only look in front. So to avoid the Star Destroyer, all you got to do is just go in those locations where you can't be seen, right? Like it's actually kind of difficult to kill people when you're inside the Star Destroyer. Now, what I will say is if somebody does get caught in that line of sight, they're going to get absolutely eviscerated. They're going to get killed, but yeah, I mean, they should, right? You should be penalized for standing right inside of this giant thing across the map. Honestly, most of the time when you use the Star Destroyer, the only people that you kill are like the AIs, right? Who obviously don't even know that it exists. They're just standing there, they're free kills. But killing a real player with the Star Destroyer isn't actually that easy. And again, this is a transformation item that should be like a top tier, like everybody should be a free kill because it's so difficult to get it. But that's just not the case with this item, and for me, it's a pretty easy last place pick. All right, at number 5 today, guys, is going to be Superman. So technically, the mythic item is called the Superman Call, and this is a very interesting one because on launch, and I'm going to show gameplay right now of on-launch gameplay, it was absolutely terrible. Like, genuinely, you would become Superman, and you would be the one that was running away from regular players. Like, it was actually so bad. I could not believe how bad it was. I remember going on Twitter, and everyone's like, this is Superman? Bro, like, I feel like I'm a bum. Like, this is supposed to be, like, the strongest guy in the universe, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, Superman just wasn't good on launch, and then they buffed him a bunch. They actually made it so that you would get more siphon per a limb, right? So you actually kill somebody and you could extend the timer on Superman. So technically, if you just kept killing people, you could actually be Superman for the entire game. They also buffed his HP a ton, right? Like in solos, they buffed it by like 600 HP. I will say, I still don't think it was enough, right? Like a couple mags from an AR and he's gonna die. And then they also buffed the laser beam attack damage by a ton. I believe in the beginning it was 7 damage and they buffed it up to like 12 or 13. Pretty noticeable buff, and post-buff Superman was pretty good. If I had to separate it, I would say the post-buff Superman would be one spot higher. I'd put it at number 4, and then the pre-nerf Superman I would keep here at number 5. But since obviously like I've got to put them together, that's why it's here at number 5. I think honestly you just saw a lot of people that were like, I'm not really gonna go for Superman, right? Like somebody can grab it and then we'll all just shoot him because he's not that strong, right? Like he can't take all of us out. That's just kind of how I saw it, right? Like I was never really going for Superman. I used it once and I'm like, I'm fine being my regular player. At number 4 is going to be Godzilla, and I'm telling you guys, I was so hyped when Godzilla came out. I couldn't believe that we were actually going to play as Godzilla. The trailer was so hyped for this as well, and needless to say, I think it was a little bit underwhelming. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was insanely cool being Godzilla and just stomping through buildings and just using your laser beam to just absolutely eviscerate everything, but the character moved so slow that you were just a giant walking target. I mean, you are just so slow with Godzilla. That's my main problem with it. They ended up fixing this with Megazord in Chapter 6, Season 4. We'll talk about that when we get there. Again, like, it's pretty similar with all these transformation items where it's like, yeah, if somebody is caught 10 meters in front of Godzilla, obviously you're going to kill them. But, like, what is the utility besides, like, right in front of somebody? Like, can you make something happen if somebody's, you know, in a car? Or if you've got a whole squad shooting at you, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, like, there's no real downside to go for these items because it doesn't, like, kill you right away. Like, it just spawn back in as your regular self. So, obviously, most of the time, you're probably going to go for it. I don't know. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this pick. I think Godzilla was just a little bit underwhelming. Again, very cool to be a part of, but in terms of like actually killing players, I don't necessarily think it's the best just because that movement speed is so painfully slow. It's pretty easy to evade him. At number 3, we've got Megazord from Chapter 6, Season 4. So, of course, this was our most recent mid-game objective, and I think he was actually pretty good. I really like how they integrated, like, all players into this. It wasn't just like, I don't know, let's say Thanos, where only a single player can get it. Your entire team would be part of Megazord, and, you know, somebody would control, you know, the reveal ability, and somebody would control moving him around, and somebody would control the sword, and somebody would control, you know, the explosive bullets. Like, it was actually really cool, and Megazord could cover ground quickly, right? Like, even if you were shooting Megazord from 100 meters away, you were not safe, right? Like, if that team in Megazord locked onto you, you were in big trouble. You really couldn't escape him. I mean, even people who were in cars and people who were in, you know, the Hammerhead chopper, like, you were not safe shooting this guy from 100 meters away. He was insanely strong. And also the fact that they gave him a reveal ability, like, that's just insane because you couldn't even, like, rat in a building next door. If you got revealed, you were in big time trouble. The only thing that's, I think, a little bit of a hindrance to Megazord and why I could see you actually putting Godzilla ahead of him is because you've got to fight the bug. It was like Rita's bug, right? And you had to fight him. And obviously, once you destroyed the bug, yeah, you would get some HP back. But it made it so that originally your focus wasn't killing the players, it was actually killing the bugs. And then that made it so that when everyone was just lighting you up, you weren't really fighting back to them. You were actually trying to kill the bug. I didn't really like that little mini boss fight. I totally see what they were trying to do, though. And also, something that I forgot to mention with Godzilla is if you did the most damage in the lobby to Godzilla, you would get the dash medallion, which is one of the best medallions of all time. So players were increasingly incentivized to do more damage to Godzilla, which obviously if you are Godzilla, that's not what you want to hear. But with Megazord, it was a little bit different, obviously, because the reveal medallion that you got for doing the most damage in the lobby to Megazord really wasn't all that good. It was just a worse Emma Frost reveal medallion. So there were plenty of times where I'm like, I could shoot Megazord, but as soon as he locks onto me, I'm gonna die. So I'll just leave him alone, wait until the time runs out, and then, you know, I'll go fight the team. And obviously, that's a good thing if you're in Megazord. You don't want to be shot by other people. You want to just run over everybody. And let me tell you something, this guy's got a lot of health. So this might be a kind of a controversial pick. I'm not really sure what people thought of Megazord. I couldn't really get a grasp on the, you know, community's thought on this one. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty fair spot. He was a pretty good transformation item. And number 2 today, guys, is going to be Thanos. Of course, the mythic item is technically the Infinity Gauntlet. This was way, way back in the day, and some of you guys watching this video, in fact, I'm willing to bet most of you guys probably never even got the chance to play as Thanos. This was the first ever transformation mythic boss ever, and actually the first mythic item ever. It was just absolutely terrifying trying to go up against Thanos, and you've got to remember something crucial here. There is no time limit, right? On Megazord, you can't sit in Megazord for the entire game. The time limit will run out, and it'll automatically boot you out, no matter how much damage players have done to you. That was not the case with Thanos. If you got in Thanos, which by the way, you had a ton of health and shield, and you were able to keep killing people and refreshing that health, you could sit in Thanos the entire game. That's pretty insane, and that made going for Thanos so valuable, because if you were able to get him, you could just stomp over people the entire game, right? Like there was Thanos in the end games of Fortnite, whereas obviously you didn't see that with the Star Destroyer, Godzilla, or Megazord, and for the most part, Superman. Man, Thanos was so insanely strong in Season 4. I could not believe, I mean, the absolute fear that is instilled in your body when you hear that, you know, him just sitting on the top of the sky and goes, the end is near, and he drops down. Oh my god, dude, I got goosebumps thinking about it. If you know what you're doing as Thanos in Season 4, you are untouchable. You will absolutely run through everybody. What I will say is, if somebody gets Thanos who doesn't necessarily know what they're doing with it, it can be kind of an easy kill. Like, he is a big target, but as soon as he locks onto you, yeah, I mean, you are in big trouble. But he's not going to be at number 1 today, and I think you guys probably know what's going to be at number 1. At number 1 today, guys, is the Armor of Doom when you transform into Victor Von Doom. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If you do not put this at your number 1 spot in this list, you are simply just biased towards a different IP or something, right? Because this was so clearly the best transformation item we have ever seen. I could not believe how strong it was in Chapter 5, Season 4. Like, when the Isle of Doom spawned in, right? And of course, it spawned the Armor of Doom. You had no choice but to go for this item, because if you didn't get it, you were going to lose the game. So you might as well just go for it and fight your life for it. And that was how me and my buddies played Chapter 5 Season 4 when this was in the game. As soon as it would spawn in, all right, let's get in a car and let's just fly towards it. If we just sit back and let someone else get it, well, we're gonna die to the Armor of Doom anyways, because that's just how strong he was. And there are just so many different things that make this one so much stronger than the other ones. First of all, the mobility, right? You could fly around, you could jump everywhere. You were not a slow moving target. You had so many great, very strong attacks. Not only was it actually difficult to hit somebody who was using this item, imagine trying to shoot them while while they're just moving through the air, and then they pull out, you know, these 3 mega laser beam attacks on you. You just don't stand a chance at all. You really don't. It is so hard to kill somebody who is running the Armor of Doom unless you're just an unbelievable player and you're running a ton of shield bubbles and your mobility is insane. You've got the hover jets on. That's the only thing that could save you from this. And again, like, I think you guys probably have a lot of the same experiences as I did with the Armor of Doom. Like, I have to emphasize how strong this was because, again, like I said earlier, we were literally going for this and throwing our lives onto this, because if you didn't get it, whoever did get it was going to win the game. Like, I would say 99% of the time, anytime the Isle of Doom spawned in, that was the person who would just end up winning the game, right? I seriously, to this day, cannot believe this thing ever existed in Chapter 5, Season 4, and in my opinion, it is far and away the best transformation mythic boss we've ever seen, and I think it's going to be very hard to take this thing down. Alrighty, folks, I hope you went on to enjoy that video. Again, please let me know in the comment section what you thought about this ranking. I actually asked you guys this exact question to make this ranking list on Twitter. Make sure you go follow me there, and on my YouTube community posts, and I was really surprised by how many different options. I mean, I saw some people putting the Star Destroyer at 1. Like, guys, come on, what are we doing here? So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. This is one of my most requested videos in a long time, so of course, you guys know I had to deliver it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace.